Hello, everybody. It is CR here, and I am going to be reading Chapter 6 of Cassie's Revenge. Unfortunately, this was supposed to be coming out 7 days ago, so what I'm going to do to make up for the lost time of the 7 days ago, I will be posting Chapter 7 2 weeks prior to this afterwards. So chapter 7 is not in the process of being making right now. But 2 weeks prior, I promise you that chapter 7 will be made. I promise. No lies, no backing up. Not just posting random animations just to hold you guys over because of a delay. I will be posting chapter 7 2 weeks prior. So, today we're going to be reading chapter 6 of Cassidy's Revenge. And I will be, like I said, making chapter 7 2 weeks prior. Okay? So let's get this over with, shall we? Chapter 6. Cassidy was walking home after another day of school. Gabriel was walking beside her, scrolling on his phone as they finally reached the building. They both walked inside and Gabriel greeted both of his grandparents before walking upstairs. Suddenly, Cassidy's grandmother spoke. "Cassidy, dear, you look tired. How about you go get some rest?" she said as she gestured towards the stairs. Cassidy nodded as she walked towards the stairs. Soon, she arrived into her room and set her bags down. She lay down in her bed and stared at the ceiling one last time before closing her eyes. 4 months later. September 3rd, 1987. It was another day at school. Cassidy was sitting at her desk, fidgeting with her pencil as she was solving math problems. Suddenly, a shadow appeared behind her, and "Boo!" a voice shouted. Cassidy turned around, and it was her best friend Charlotte. "You can do better than that." Her voice was deadpan and flat. Charlotte sighed and sat next to her at an empty desk. "You're no fun sometimes. What happened to my little sister, eh?" she said as she reached out to ruffle Cassidy's hair. Cassidy swatted her hand away as she glared at her. "We're not kids anymore, Charlotte. You know that. And we're not even related," she said as she tried to refocus on the equations. Charlotte just shrugged. "Whatever you say, dude. And by the way, Chris's birthday is coming up," she said with a grin. Cassidy paused for a moment before saying, "September 8th. His birthday is on September 8th, she said with a slight hint of softness in her voice. Charlotte raised an eyebrow. "Since when you were the one to care about other people's birthdays?" she said with curiosity. Cassidy sighed and replied back with something snarky. "Ever since you become a faggot," she said with a slight smirk. Charlotte rolled her eyes and smirked back at her. "Really? Was that your best insult?" Charlotte said while crossing her arms. Cassidy smirked. "Keep leaning in that chair like that and you'll fall and hit your head." Charlotte chuckled and leaned back further in her chair. Cassidy silently counted. 3, 2, 1. And with that, Charlotte fell out of her chair, landing on her back with a hard thud. "Ouch," she said as she sat up, rubbing her back. Cassidy snickered. "Dumbass." Charlotte throws a nearby eraser at Cassidy, which she catches without even looking. "Show off," she said as she stood up, rubbing the back of her neck. Cassidy looked at her with an amused gaze. "It's called having fast reflexes, Charlotte. Something you clearly don't have," she said as she refocuses on the equations. Charlotte looked at Cassidy's worksheet. "You forgot the y-axis," she said as she pointed to one of the equations. "God damn it!" Cassidy says in frustration as she threw her pencil on her desk while crossing her arms. Charlotte smirked. "Dumbass." Cassidy shot her a glare. "Shut up, you guitar playing." Before Cassidy could finish her sentence, a loud crash startled the both of them. Cassidy and Charlotte perked up at the noise. Both of them glanced back at each other with a knowing look in their eyes. End of chapter 6. This is the end of chapter 6 of Cassidy's Revenge. Like I said, 2 weeks prior, chapter 7 will be posted. And I just want to say thank you for being very patient with me throughout this journey. And I am sorry that I had to delay you guys for 7 days to post this chapter. I'll make it up to you with chapter 7 and a bonus animation afterwards. Does that sound good? Okay, perfect. So, I'm going to leave you guys with this. This is the end of chapter 6 of Cassidy's Revenge. Thank you, and goodbye.